Please continue.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sirs. Thank you so much.
What's your good name, please?
Sir, my name is Oshin Sharma.
There are emergency powers in the Indian Constitution. Three kinds of emergency.
Yes, sir.
356, 59. What is that?
So first is national emergency under Article 352. Then we have presidential rule under Article 356. And finally we have financial emergency under Article 360.
Right. What is delegated legislation?
So delegated legislation is a phenomena where the work of the parliament is being delegated to the standing committees, and it has become a little mess because the primary function of parliament would have been to make legislation and give a complete thought, but now the legislations are being made on a very hasty scale. So this is delegated legislation.
Why it is necessary?
Sir, seeing
Partly you have answered it.
Yes, sir.
Why it is necessary delegated legislation?
Sir, it is necessary given the bulk amount of work the parliament faces, and that's why.
Right. What is this Ayodhya verdict?
So Ayodhya verdict has given Hindus the right to form, the right to once again form a temple, Ramlala temple, and separate 5 acre zameen has been allotted to the Muslim section, and a trust has been formed, and the nominee of the Nirmohi Akhada has also been a part of it. Now the trust will look into the matters.
There is a turmoil going on in Hong Kong. Do you have some idea?
So it is a very, this is not a new protest. They have been fighting for their autonomy because China has been controlling their human rights and civic rights, and that's why people since very long has they started the umbrella movement, and this is just a natural extension of it.
Oshin, what's the beginning today?
Yes, sir. So Oshin is synonym to patience and endurance, inspired from a famous TV character broadcasted in 1990s.
You understand this idea of day zero? Disconnected with a city in Himachal.
Yes,
What
sir.
is this day zero?
So the concept of day zero has emerged from Cape Town, South Africa, where the city is facing a huge water scarcity. And the city that we are talking about is Shimla. Shimla is also witnessing a water scarcity.
Why so much? When 60 mld is required, 32 or 40 at the max. Do you see some change happening? Some government is taking some measures. Something was in news very recently.
Yes, sir. So a certain kind of a lift irrigation scheme was in use, that water from Satluj will be diverted to fulfill the needs of people.
What about the World Bank loan is being sought to elevate this kind of a problem? We don't heard about it.
Sorry, sir, I cannot
Something is
recall.
happening there. And but long back when Jaya ruled, Jaya Lalita ruled Chennai, she came up with a mandate that every city, every house in every apartment, every building in Chennai has to have some measures to save water. What was that? Heard of that?
Not exactly, sir.
Water recharging? Rainwater recharging?
Okay, so rainwater
Rainwater
harvesting.
harvesting, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that thing can happen in Himachal? Or
Yes,
in-
sir. Sir, it was a part of the tradition aspect as well. For example, the Baudis, the Johards, these have been a part of the traditional water harvesting system. We definitely need to revive it.
In Punjab, on the contrary, this green revolution when it happened, it was water,
Yes, sir.
which was in abundance, and groundwater depletion is now the outcome, and obviously a lot of things are happening.
Yes, sir.
Do you think this free water and free electricity has led to so many problems, besides having a lot of cereals at our disposal, paddy and wheat are in abundance.
Yes, sir.
But this is now leading to problems, and what is that?
Yes, sir. So, when it happened during 1960s and 70s, the prior aim was to fulfill the aim of food security. That's why the government came up with huge number of subsidies, and high yielding variety seeds were also given to people. But the problem was that high yielding variety seeds, they absorb a lot of water. Plus the subsidies given by the government, people were using solar pumps, and all of this led to high extraction from the groundwater. That is why the government is now coming up with bringing green revolution to the eastern India, and that is in a way.
See, we have been hearing a lot of bore well kids falling into bore wells, and
Yes, sir.
most of them they perish there.
Yes, sir.
Do you think there could be an innovative way of solving this problem?
So
Abundant bore wells should be.
Yes, sir.
What according to you could be the way?
So technological advancements. We need to have some sort of machines, but the issue would be that initially the cost would be very, very high. But if once the government subsidized them, the industries as well as the government hybrid could make these machines affordable and accessible. So technological innovation is the answer.
What do you think a leader, for him, is he leading or is he serving?
So which leader?
When you lead,
Okay.
you are going to be a leader tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So what is your prime work?
Yes, sir.
Do you lead or do you serve?
Sir, I believe a leader is one who make many leaders, because he will not always be able to guide people. He need to make leaders. Leadership need to create leadership roles in their aspects. So my role would be the management part, but still I have to empower people, every stakeholder that is under me or that is with me. That is why I believe that more than leading, I would be part of the whole endeavor.
You understand the difference between management and leadership? You are a leader and then you said that I'll manage.
So
See, why not lead? See, when you manage, you are not treating them as leaders, you are treating them as managers only.
okay, sir.
So you have to really evolve your role to that level.
Yes, sir.
Oshin, I see that you belong to scheduled tribe category. Right?
Yes, sir.
Kangra.
Yes, sir.
Are people living outside tribal areas in Himachal Pradesh declared scheduled tribes? You are living in Kangra,
Yes, sir.
and are people, how are you that you belong to this category?
Yes, sir. So earlier reservation was given to the areas of Pangi and Bharmor, originally from the place where I belong. Later on, people demanded, and then they also were given, because Gaddi it was a community. But then later on, they got segregated. Hierarchy was there, and few became Rajputs, few became Brahmins. Like I became Gaddi Brahmin. So this is how it happened.
Okay, so the people from non-tribal areas, but originally having roots in tribal areas,
Yes, sir.
were covered later on.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, Gaddis belong to which part of the state?
Sir, Gaddis are concentrated in Chamba, but now we have seen out migration. So they are found in Kangra as well. My residential address is of Kangra, and also in various parts of Hamirpur and Bilaspur, but largely concentrated in Kangra.
I see that you are a science graduate.
Yes, sir.
You have done medical. Did you try for PMT also?
Yes, sir, I did try.
Okay. And I also see that it was the CSAT which let you down.
Absolutely, sir.
And have you had some coaching for this exam, this HS?
Yes, sir. So
Where?
firstly,
Which institute?
Yes, sir. Sir, from Raj Malhotra IAS Coaching Center.
Where is it?
firstly it was located in Sector 11, then it got shifted to Sector 25.
Have you ever been to your native place? I mean, from where your community comes?
From Chamba?
I know, not only Chamba, right up to say Pangi or Bhopal.
Okay, sir. Sir, I never got a chance.
Never got a chance. Which is your favorite field of study?
Favorite?
Which is your favorite field of study?
Field of study.
Hmm.
History, sir. History is my
History you
option.
like?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You must have read History of Himachal Pradesh also.
Yes, sir.
When India became independent, what was the status of Himachal Pradesh?
Yes,
On
sir.
after 15th August 1947,
Yes, sir.
what was Himachal?
So Himachal was a very small hilly area, and
It's, I mean, constitutional administrative status I'm talking.
yes, sir. So various leaders were divided. Nationalistic leaders were divided into rank. Few wanted to keep Himachal autonomous, and few wanted it to get merged with Punjab Hill states. Now, leaders like Yashwant Singh Parmar, they wanted that Himachal should be kept autonomous, and they were against the idea that the cultural affinity of Punjab and Himachal does not resemble much, and this will not be this will not be good for Himachal economically as well. So this was the this was the idea. Also, various leaders like VP Menon, they also wanted Himachal to be formed in 3 states. That it should be given an autonomous status, then a UT, and finally statehood. This three-pronged
My
idea.
question was very simple.
Yes, sir.
That when India became independent,
Yes, sir.
what was the constitutional or administrative status of Himachal Pradesh?
So it was a chief commissioner province.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And Kangra was in Himachal from the very beginning?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So Kangra came into British influence in 1846.
No, my question was it a part of Himachal?
No, sir.
When did
Sir.
it became part of
Sir,
Himachal?
1st November 1966.
Okay. So the 3 districts came to Himachal. Kangra, Hamirpur, Una, or
Yes.
only Kangra?
No, sir. Kangra, Hamirpur, and Una.
3 districts came.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they were separate districts then.
So they belong to Punjab Hill areas.
No, my question was that was Kangra, Hamirpur, Una districts, these 3 districts came from Punjab to Himachal, or only Kangra came to Himachal? Or what was the state administrative status of Kangra?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall.
Oh, it's okay, doesn't matter. Well, you say that you come from Pangi, Bharmar. Under which provision or under which act or rule or anything a person is given the status of scheduled tribe?
Sir, Article 342.
What it says?
It says that the president or governor, in consultation, they can give they can notify the scheduled tribe.
Just broadly, I don't want a very technical answer. Just what you think, you see what comes you see in your mind. How a scheduled tribe is different from a non-scheduled tribe? What are the traits which make a scheduled tribe different?
So first would be primitiveness, there would be backwardness, shyness of the culture, and infrastructure and economic backwardness.
These are the traits.
Yes, sir.
Was there any committee in the government of India which said these traits should be taken care of while declaring a tribe or a group of people as scheduled tribes? Because you have given very exact answer.
Yes, sir.
So have you read it somewhere or some committee or some report or something?
Sir, I could recall the BAG committee.
Very good.
Oshin, what is a multi-role combat aircraft?
So it is in relation with Rafale.
I'm generally asking, what is a multi-role combat aircraft? Rafale is one of such
Yes, sir.
category. But what is a multi-role combat aircraft? We call it MRCA.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
we shortlisted Rafael from about 6 major suppliers.
Yes, sir.
So can you name all the 6 out of which the Rafael was shortlisted?
No, sir.
Do you know something about Kalatana Multimodal project?
Yes, sir. So Kalatana Multimodal project, it would be linking India to the eastern portion, northeastern portion, via Sitwe port, along with the Kalatana river. This would help in strengthening the idea of Act East policy.
Any 2 related projects which are there
Yes, sir.
to Kalatana?
Yes, sir. So Asian Trilateral Highway and IMT Highway.
Okay. And the inventory of Kalatana? What is there in the Kalatana Multimodal project? What are they doing? What are exactly doing besides a road connecting India to say, Thailand?
So as the name is, it is a multimodal project. So few portion would be connected by road and the other would be connected by sea, and then ultimately they will be going to More, Manipur. The entry would be to east, northeast portion.
Okay. And where is the terminating point?
So More, Manipur.
No, the other side.
So from West Bengal.
No. From More to which country? Or which I want to know the name of the city, but you can tell me the country also. Which country?
So Thailand.
Okay. What is UNESCO Creative City Network list?
So it is a list which focuses emphasis on the World Heritage cities that needs protection, because that could be projected as a global brand. Recently, Chennai was also added into this list, and Varanasi was also part of it earlier.
And how is it different from the UNESCO Heritage Site list?
Sorry, sir.
India has a dispute with Nepal pertaining to a place called Kalapani. So
Yes, sir.
can you elaborate a bit on Kalapani dispute?
Yes, sir. So earlier Kalapani area was ignored by the Nepalese government, and our forces were sitting there. The Indo-Tibetan Border Police was sitting there since 1962, the Indo-China War. But now after that we have redrawn the political boundaries of Jammu and Kashmir and divided into union territories. The new map somewhere has shown that Kalapani is it comes within our Indian territory, and this has been objected by Nepal.
Which state is the bordering state of Kalapani?
Uttarakhand, sir.
Which district?
Can't recall, sir.
Okay. A very significant river which divides the 2 territories, the Indian side of Kalapani and the Nepalese side.
Kali River, sir.
What is Chamtham Prahar? It has been in news recently.
Sorry, sir.
Anything special about the Vijayanagar airport in Arunachal?
Vijayanagar Airport in Arunachal. So,
What is market access to an economy?
market access.
Market access.
Yes, sir. So this comes, this flows, the idea flows from the WTO negotiations. We have often blamed China for not allowing us into their markets. This idea also comes when RCP negotiations are going on around the globe. We have asked for that we want market access because we have services as a very strong backbone, but the RCP negotiations will allow the entry of cheap products at a very abysmal duty, and this is what we are concerned about, that our domestic industries and farmers would suffer somehow.
So, are we giving market access to the other countries?
So
Like
we
we
have
have been
been,
accusing China of not giving market access to us.
so we were forced to give market access in 1991 post liberalization.
But that was liberalization.
Yes, sir.
There's a concrete difference between liberalization and market access.
Yes, sir. So we have been giving. That's why the slogan of Make in India is there, because our domestic industries are somewhere decrying the fact that domestic industry should be protected, because things from outside the border, they're coming inside, and they're being sold at a very cheap rate. And
Oshin, you're contradicting your thing. You're saying that domestic industry has to be protected. My question is, are we giving the market access? If we are giving the market access, it means we are not caring much about the domestic industry.
yes, sir. So we have been giving
Yeah.
market access, but domestic industry should be protected.
Should
Yes, sir.
What is a major issue one major issue between the tariff war which is going on between US and China? There are many issues. Tell me one major concern which India needs to encash upon. There is one particular concern that is an opportunity for India to encash.
So US has complained that issues like IPR and quality of so the high technology equipments has been one issue that US has somewhere blamed China for it, and the US-China trade war could help India open new production centers.
Of what is the offset clause in Rafael deal? Offset clause.
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall.
Right. Well,
Oshin, recently in Kangra district, one very important event has been concluded of Himachal state. Can you
Yes, ma'am.
elaborate on it?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it is Rising Himachal Global Investor Meet, and this has happened for the first time in Dharamshala. And Honorable Prime Minister, he also visited. UAE was our partner country, and the whole summit focuses on attracting private investments, working on PPP models, and create growth and livelihood opportunities for the youth of Himachal.
So do you think organizing such type of events will ensure us a lot of industrial development or the whole economic development of the state?
Ma'am, not exactly, but yes, we need to take some step. This is the first step where people have at least taken cognizance of the fact that investments are necessary. We need to open Himachal so that competition could enter Himachal. But for example, we have signed around 82,000 crore MOUs. But we need to make sure, our government needs to make sure that MOUs are being translated into firm decisions.
So what was our target? What was our investment target for this meet?
Can't remember.
What is the heritage village in Kangra district?
And Paragpur.
Is it administrative wise also it has some special feature? Can you recall? At the district level, at the block level or tehsil or maybe at subdivision level?
Sorry, ma'am.
Near, in Kangra near Palampur, there is one very important village known for the pioneer reserve waste management is concerned.
Waste management.
And they say that model is replicated in the rest parts also. Are you aware of that waste management model?
I'm not exactly.
It's okay. And what Kangra is famous for?
Kangra is famous for, if I talk about from the monument side, then Kangra Fort is famous, built by Susharman Chand. If I talk from the geographical indication tag, then Kangra tea is famous, and these two
Something
things.
in the field of art and culture?
Yes, ma'am. The village Andretta is very famous for Nora Richards, as well as the paintings of Shobha Singh. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oshin, history is your favorite subject?
Indeed.
History.
Yes, sir.
I will ask you one question. What is the reason most of the Asian and African countries got independence after World War II?
Yes, sir. Sir, after World War II, the process of decolonization began. People understood that colonialism and imperialism could no longer be the solution, and countries have to be given the right of self-determination, also propagated by Atlantic Charter. After World War II, the process of decolonization began, And countries, the third world countries, they came up, and in 1961 they came up at Belgrade conference with NAM, and NAM gave the idea of self-determination, and that is how various countries of Asia and Africa, they got independence.
Right. And you can also add colonial countries, they had collapsed.
Yes, sir.
They were no longer in a position to hold these colonies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They were in the reconstruction phase.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
So feedback.
Kangra is famous for miniature paintings also.
Yes,
They have their own
Kangra
style.
paint is.
Yes.
They are
Yes, sir.
miniature style.
Miniature
Very,
paintings.
very famous.
Sir, can I get a page?
Keep this.
Yes, sir. Miniature paintings.
I don't have anything. This is a perfect painting. Perfect painting. Very confident. I mean, what should I say? It's only we should look for a result. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir,
You see, I think that she was very confident in nearly all the fields, but except when it came to the current events.
Yes.
And I found you fumbling and
Yes.
so when is your interview?
Sir, it's on 25th November.
So you have time, I think she must brush up.
Yes, sir. I will definitely brush up.
And especially defense things that he was asking,
Yes, sir.
because the chairman of the commission is from defense services, right?
Yes, sir.
He's Major General.
Yes, sir.
So he would like to ask questions on matter concerning defense services and interest relations, strategic to इसमें थोड़ा सा देख लीजिए, because I was seeing my observation is that you were a bit weak in the, you see, he had chosen the field that there you were slightly, you're fumbling rather,
Yes, sir.
and but otherwise very good presentation, very confident, and you have a bright future.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's fine. I think you need to work a bit on the international relations part plus the defense part.
Yes, sir.
The questions are very basic. Some of the questions of Rafael Kalak, very basic questions. So you
last
need to
time भी पूछा about
brush up that.
offset clause and
जी जी मैम.
बहुत बेसिक क्वेश्चंस थे, मतलब जिसको आप कह सकते हो स्टार्टिंग के क्वेश्चंस थे, तो वो है. एंड देन यू हैव टू सेट योर फैक्ट्स राइट. कलातान मल्टीमॉडल प्रोजेक्ट के रिलेटेड मैंने थाईलैंड बोला तो आपने भी थाईलैंड बोल दिया, वो वियतनाम तक जाता है.
अच्छा सर.
तो ठीक है, तो सेट इट राइट. अदरवाइज द प्रेजेंटेशन वाज फ्लॉलेस, नो प्रॉब्लम इन दैट. द कंटेंट पार्ट हैज टू बी गुड.
Yes, sir.
उत्तराखंड का पिथौरागढ़ डिस्ट्रिक्ट है.
पिथौरागढ़ है.
कालापानी टेरिटरी की, और प्रागपुर जो आपका जो हेरिटेज विलेज है वो लार्जेस्ट ब्लॉक है हिमाचल का.
मैम मुझे एकदम याद है वो पापा ने एक बार बताया था.
75 पंचायत.
75
It is the largest block of Himachal state. Since you are residing in Kangra district, we will ask you to brush up cultural, administrative features.
एंड कांगड़ा को पूछ रहे थे, आई थिंक बैजनाथ टेंपल का मेंशन करना है मस्ट.
Yes, sir. Temples, painting, GI tag, and Kangra fort. These 4 things.
पेंटिंग्स का मस्ट है इसमें. और वो आयमा पंचायत है नियर पालमपुर. वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट आयमा पंचायत.
जी मैम.
All the very best.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
All
you
the
so
best.
much.